Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here just hanging out in Cambodia right now at this coffee place. Yeah, it's a nice little spot. So I started this YouTube channel to kind of like, I've been exploring the world. You know, I just got out of the Navy about a year and a half ago, so my mission is to show that you can travel the world and you don't need $1 million to travel the world. I have to do everything pretty cheap, on a budget. And I can talk about how to do that as well, but I just wanted to share some of my experiences in a short video because I started the channel. I was like, my grandma's like, oh, you should document your journey, And I was like, yeah, you're right. But anyways, what I'm trying to talk about is like, I'll talk about my experience in Cambodia for the last like 8 months that I've been here. Less than 8 months, about 6 months. And I got out of the Navy and I worked for a year and saved up to come over to Asia, because the most expensive thing coming to Asia is your plane ticket. And a lot of stuff on YouTube is false, unfortunately, about everything in Asia. It's hard to find good documents, that are true. They always like overhype and they don't explain the stuff that you have to be willing to give up if you do be an expat, or if you do teach English for a year. It's a big Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam, in my opinion, is very different. Like, I was fortunate to go to Philippines first before I came to Asia, so going to the Philippines really helped prepare me, because it's like different and it's not. It's kind of like going to Puerto Rico. It's different and it's not. I mean, of course it's more different than Puerto Rico culturally and everything, but I'm glad Philippines was my first. But anyways, I went with my ex-girlfriend, and we took one-way ticket from Miami to LA on Skyscanner, and then from Skyscanner we went to LA to Tokyo for less than $300 on the Zip airline. It was super cheap, but it was terrible airline though. And then after that we were in Japan. We hiked Mount Fuji. I was in Japan for 6 days, and then after that, then we went to Malaysia for a day, like less than a day. Well, we missed our flight and everything was kind of crazy. Like, they were like being crazy because they thought her passport was fake because she got a United States passport, and it was just a crazy experience, but it all worked out, and then we got to Phnom Penh, and for whatever reason our relationship didn't work out, so she went back home to America, and I've kind of like been traveling solo, and I've gotten my girlfriend now, so a Cambodian girlfriend, now after like about 7 months. I wasn't really dating anyone, just kind of like working on myself, and then I bumped into my my current girlfriend. She's been treating me good, can't complain there. It's very nice. Being in the Navy, they always say, like, if you're gonna marry someone, marry a woman from Asia, and if you're gonna date someone, date a Latina, and I still believe that. I think Asian women have what I want, like long term. They want a family, they have values, they may have a different religion. My religion is Christian, but they are Buddhist, but they do believe in like some form. They may not believe in God, but they believe in a higher power, So anyways, I really appreciate that. Instead of like in the Western society, it's very like entitled, and it's very hard to have a high quality woman that doesn't want something in return, or you gotta make 6 figures or some crazy number, with the current political climate. But anyways, I was in Phnom Penh, and Phnom Penh is so crazy. When you come to Cambodia, the food is challenging to adjust to, and the driving is crazy in Phnom Penh. Like, there's no rules on the road, and like, yeah, people say have Western food. Western food is great, but the thing is, Western food in Asia, besides like Philippines and a little bit of Vietnam, but Western food like in Cambodia is more expensive, So like some other countries is less expensive. Like, if you want to dine out, it's $10 for a meal. So if you have 2 people, it's $20. And if you dine Khmer style, then it's very cheaper. It's like $2 a meal. So basically like maybe $8. Like today I bought my burger, and it was about, I had 2 burgers and a tea, so it's about, I'll tell you in a second, 4, $4 with tea and everything. So, because they use two different currencies here in Cambodia, real and dollar. But anyways, so it gets kind of challenging. So it's a lot to adjust to. So I'm just saying, like they say the grass is greener, but you have to be willing to adjust and do it. You have to be able to, some stuff in Cambodia is backwards, you know? Some stuff I like the Buddhist influence and the Buddhist culture and the Buddhist mindset, but driving on the road is crazy, you know? There's no rules, there's no regulations, people don't drive with helmets, people crash into people, and the courts don't do anything if you're poor, you know? Basically money controls everything, you know? So if you have no money in this country, it's very hard to rise up the hierarchy. You know, not like America, if you have no money, you can get money, and if someone hits you, you know, they can get in trouble. It doesn't matter if they're the it doesn't matter if they're a prime minister of another country or if they're a congressman, they still have problems, you know, but here it's different. So anyways, I was teaching in Phnom Penh. It was crazy. I wanted to be an English teacher. I really wanted to help Cambodia, and then I went and taught in Phnom Penh, and it was a crazy experience. I had like 200 students. I was getting paid $1,000, so, you know, I was kind of like breaking even, you know what I mean? I should have asked for more, because you also get taxed in Cambodia, but it's different in the US. I'm from the US, so if you get taxed in the United States, you have to do your taxes, but in Cambodia, the company does your taxes. So I think that's very good. So, but anyways, if you make 1,100, they tax 10. I think it's 10%. I'll have to double check. But basically, I was making like 1,100, and they took $100. You know, I don't know the math. Don't quote me on the math. You just have to Google that, or I'll check it later. But basically, if you make over 1,000 in Cambodia, you have to pay taxes, unless they changed it. But don't quote me on all the taxation. You know, it's just this is a video about my personal experience. You know, so after that, you know, I was in Phnom Penh, and then after Phnom Penh, I went to. I was done. I quit my job. It was too much. There's too many kids. They're very rude. They were like spoiled like in America. It wasn't a good experience. I mean, some of the kids were great, but it was just like, man, I couldn't grind a year. And after my situation with my ex, and I didn't like the city, and it was just very pollution, and it wasn't for me. So I went to Siem Reap. I really enjoyed Siem Reap. Siem Reap has Angkor Wat. The only issue with Siem Reap, it's very touristy. You know, that's the only thing I don't like about it. Very touristy, and it's very hard to get an English job here. You know, compared to Phnom Penh. In Phnom Penh, there's many English teaching jobs. You know, so if you don't like one and you quit, or you get fired, or whatever, you can find another English teaching job. But in Siem Reap, it's limited, you know? My favorite province was Battambang, but it's even more limited than Siem Reap, you know? But I decided to stay in Siem Reap because I love the temples. I usually go to the temple every weekend or see the sunset, like around, like from 7 to like 2. They're so busy. It's like going to Disneyland. But if you go from like 3 to like 6 to any of the temples besides Angkor Wat, like Angkor Thom or any of them, you have them all to yourself, and it's cool to sit down and read or walk around, and there's no one there. It's a hidden gem. And yeah, that's what I like about Cambodia. There's some places you go to that are just unreal, like untouched by tourists, you know? In Thailand, it's hard to get that experience. You have to really search and get on a scooter and get off the tourist path, you know? But it's not impossible. It's just more challenging, you know? It's very challenging on the beaches, though, in Thailand. I haven't been lucky to find, like, a local beach in Thailand, you know? But soon I'm heading to Coron with my girlfriend, because my New Year's coming up in April, and I'm excited to see Coron and Kempot. But I'd probably say about maybe 35-40% of the country of Cambodia, you know? So it's been a good experience, but I wouldn't live in this country at 25 years old, you know? Because it's hard to make a living here, and the people are very humbled. Like yesterday, these people had nothing. They only had like a shack and a rice field, and they asked me and my girlfriend if we could have dinner. It was very kind, you know? And we said, you know, thank you, we really appreciate it, but it's like, it's very kind. But unfortunately, Cambodia has a lot of like dark history, and it's crazy because Angkor Wat, they have all these temples here, and it's a map of the universe. So there's just all this really cool history and really cool stuff. It's just sad about like the knowledge about Cambodia is mostly wrong about what you read and research. There's more to the story about anything, you know? And when I came to Cambodia, I was like blown away. Like the whole world everything changed my perspective, you know. And yeah, I love Cambodia. I loved helping the people. I was here in Siem Reap. I started an English teaching job, and it was good. But the issue with the teaching English in Cambodia is a lot of companies, they just care about money. They don't care about the kids. I had an issue with this kid. He was like a bully, and I went to the principal and had lots of paperwork, and went to the director, and he was just bullying all the kids in my class, and there was only so much I could do as a teacher. And you know, I tried everything. I tried talking to the father, I tried positive, I tried punishment, I tried, you know, praising him, positive reinforcement, everything, you know. And the issue was that the father was absent at the home, and the company that I worked for, they didn't want to expel him or kick him out or any of that stuff, you know. And the father, he just came at one day, because I'm like, how can you have a kid take over the whole class, you know, this is crazy. And he was like bullying the whole school, you know, at like around 8 years old, you know. So it was just crazy. So I'm like, this is crazy. So I talked to the director, and she wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't suspend him, and she wouldn't kick him out of the school. So after that, I said, look, I'm done. I resigned from my job, and now I'm starting to work at an NGO. But my time in Cambodia has been very challenging, because I feel like Khmer people, they don't want help, you know, and that could be regard to history. And we could open up like a big conversation there, but it's been very challenging, because before in the Navy, I was in the medical field. I was a corpsman, so it's kind of like a combat medic, you know. So I wanted to help people, but you know, in the military, sometimes we help, and sometimes we do more harm than help, unfortunately, you know. But I can say I made a lot of difference in a lot of Marines, you know, when I was on Lejeune. And a lot of people may know Lejeune, and Lejeune is crazy, but yeah, I wanted to come to Cambodia, and I wanted to help the people here. And that's why I'm working at NGO for 3 more months, and I'm trying to make a difference, but it is very challenging, you know. I think it's important to do something like that, you know. And my goal is to work for 3 more months, and then I'm gonna do scuba diving in Vietnam. I'm gonna get my dive master certification, and document my travels traveling the world. But this is kind of like my first introduction of like who I am and what I'm doing, to show that, you know, you might be depressed in America, you might be a young guy like me, and maybe getting out of the military. And you know, unfortunately, you know, it's challenging times we live in, you know. But the number one thing, that when I was working in the military with my surgeons, I had one surgeon, he was a decorated, I guess you could say, war hero, but he wouldn't like to be called war hero, you know. But he had a lot of medals, and he was a surgeon in the Navy. He was a commander. He's been to like 174 countries. He told me that before he joined the Navy, teaching English in Japan was the best thing ever. Unfortunately, my journey of teaching English hasn't been the greatest, but I've made the best out of it, like my military experience. But he is like, hey, travel the world while you're young. Travel, and then see as much as you can. And to be honest, I believe what he says. You know, traveling the world, I think, is the most important thing. It may sound crazy, but I think college and having a family as a young man can wait, you know. As a man, it's different. As a woman, we have different cards. They have different cards, you know. But unfortunately, we don't have there's not a lot of mentorship of young men now. And I like traveling the world and seeing the differences in the culture, and how different it is in Cambodia. They have a whole different language. They have a whole different writing language. They even have a different writing for numbers. They have a whole different religion. How they even bury people. They don't bury people, they cremate. I mean, correct me, some people bury people, but only rich families, and only a small percentage. But most people, they burn the dead. So it's very different. So yeah, so this is my first video of kind of like introducing and talking about Cambodia, and my experience so far, and kind of like my daily. I just got out of the gym and I'm having lunch, but I'm trying not to keep the video too long, but give enough information that it could help you. I can talk about visas too, all that stuff. I'll get into the visas too. Getting a visa in Cambodia is very simple. You just basically pay the money, and you can get employed or self-employed. depending on your situation, or a work permit. So you go to like a traveling agency, you tell them your situation, and then you find out which visa you need. But as of now, is pay the money as a US citizen. But other citizenships and nationality is a little different. They might make it more complicated, because the issue is a lot of expats are coming here and they're causing crime, and then they're getting deported, and now the country may have more challenging documents with going to Cambodia. And you know, with Trump's new thing, that could cause an issue. Cambodia could get stricter with US nationality, you know. So we never know. If a country gives restrictions on another country, they may retaliate and give more restrictions. But as of right now, you just pay the money for long-term. Your visa is one of the most simple long-term visas in the world. There's like a few countries, but Cambodia is one. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, and have a good day, and I'll talk soon. See ya.